Chara, my child, let's have a talk. You've been through a lot, huh? I mean, you've reset the timeline more times than anyone can count. And honestly, I get it. Temptation is hard to resist. Trust me, I've seen it all. But here's the thing. You've got a choice, and I'm here to help you make a better one. Now, I'm not mad. No. Disappointed. Maybe. But as I've always said, there's hope for everyone. Even for you, kid. You see, life's not all about control. I know you've been stuck on this power trip, kind of like playing God in a way. And hey, I should know something about that. But real strength doesn't come from destroying everything around you. It comes from building up. And man, Chara, you've done some tearing down, haven't you? Honestly, watching you bulldoze through everything was like watching a toddler with a crayon on a brand new wall. Chaotic and messy. But here's the good news. Walls can be repainted, and so can you. And let's talk about this whole destroy everything phase you've been on. The anger, the frustration, the if I can't control it, I'll just reset it attitude. It's not helping you, my friend. You've been running on this idea that destruction equals strength. But honestly, it's just you avoiding what really matters. Connection? Yeah, connection. That thing where you actually care about others instead of, slashing at their very existence. Do unto others. Remember that one? Oh wait, you haven't exactly been following that rule, huh? But here's the thing, Chara. Everyone messes up. You're no different. I had a guy named Peter who was one of my closest friends. Guess what he did? Denied me 3 times in a row. 3 times. You know what that felt like? Ouch. But did I give up on him? Nope. And I'm not giving up on you either. Now let's get serious for a second. You've been playing in the dark long enough. The whole destroy everything to feel something vibe you've been rolling with. Yeah, it's not working. Trust me, I've seen the whole destruction leads to fulfillment thing play out many times before. Spoiler alert, it never works. I'm talking about Cain. I'm talking about Pharaoh. I'm talking about Saul before he saw the light. They thought power was in destruction, but real power is in compassion, in forgiveness, in love. Let me break it down for you, Chara. When you hurt others, all you're doing is hurting yourself. That anger, that desire to destroy, it's just a mask for the pain you're carrying inside. And I get it, kid. Pain's a tough thing to deal with. I felt it too. Nails and crosses don't exactly feel great. But what did I do with that pain? I used it to help others, and I'm telling you, that's where the real strength comes in. Sure, you can keep doing what you've been doing, but where's that getting you? Alone, empty, and probably a little bored, if I'm being honest. Resetting the timeline every time things don't go your way. It's like hitting the snooze button on life. Yeah, it's easy, but it's not doing anything for you. What you need is to wake up, Chara. Wake up to the fact that there's more to life than control. There's more to life than forcing outcomes. There's more to life than making everyone else miserable just because you can. Here's a tip. You don't have to do it alone. In fact, that's kind of the whole point. You're part of something bigger. You've always been. The people around you, those relationships you've been ignoring or straight up destroying, they matter. And deep down, I know you know that. You've been trying to fill this void inside you with destruction, but that's not the answer. That void, it's only filled by love. Trust me on this one. Remember when I said, love your enemies? Yeah, I meant that. And believe it or not, that applies to yourself too. Because right now, you're your own worst enemy, Chara. You've been sabotaging yourself from the inside out. thinking if you can just control everything around you, you'll finally feel at peace. But peace doesn't come from control. It comes from letting go. Let go of the anger, the need for power, the endless resets. Now I know what you're thinking. Jesus, it's not that easy. And you're right. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's worth it. Because when you stop fighting as everyone else, when you stop trying to destroy what you don't understand, and when you start opening your heart instead of your knife, that's when the real healing begins. And that's what you need, Chara. Healing. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel lost. I mean, half the people I hung out with back in the day had no idea what they were doing. They made mistakes. They doubted. They struggled. But guess what? They made it through. And you can too. You've got more strength inside you than you realize. But that strength isn't about destruction. It's about creation. It's about building bridges instead of burning them. So here's the deal. You can keep going down the path you're on. You can keep resetting, keep destroying, keep pretending like none of this matters. But deep down, you know that's not true. It does matter. The people you've hurt, the things you've done, they matter. And you have the power to make it right. But first you've got to decide. Do you want to keep living in the dark, or do you want to come into the light? Now, Chara, let's talk about some of the things you've done. And yeah, I know, this part might get a little uncomfortable, but don't worry, I'm not here to make you feel bad for eternity. I'm here to help you turn things around. You've made some, well, questionable choices. We both know that. But the thing is, those choices don't define who you are. What defines you is what you decide to do next. And lucky for you, redemption is always on the table. I mean, take a look at King David. Talk about bad choices. He had a guy killed just to steal his wife. Not exactly a role model moment, right? But you know what David did? He owned up to it. He repented, turned around, and did his best to do better. And guess what? I forgave him, because that's how it works, Chara. No matter how far you've gone, no matter how deep you've dug yourself into a hole, you can always come back. But first, you've got to admit that you're in that hole in the first place. Look, I get it. You've been hurt, you've been angry, and when you're carrying all that pain inside, it feels like the only way to deal with it is to lash out at everyone around you. It feels like if you can just make the world hurt as much as you do, somehow that's going to make you feel better. But here's the catch. It never works. Trust me, I've seen enough rage, revenge, and regret to last an eternity. It doesn't fix the pain, it just spreads it around. Remember that time you wiped out, well, everyone? Yeah, you were in a pretty dark place. And let's not sugarcoat it. That was a bad call, but I get it. You were trying to feel something, anything. When the darkness takes hold, it makes you think that the only way to find meaning is through destruction. But that's a lie. And the more you fall for it, the emptier you're going to feel. Let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? You've made a few creative decisions that I'm sure you're not super proud of. I mean, sure, some people act out by breaking a vase, or maybe saying something mean in the heat of the moment. You went for a full-scale wipe out an entire world approach. Bold, but not exactly what I'd call constructive. And the thing is, every time you hit reset, every time you pushed everything into chaos, you were actually running. Running from yourself, running from the fact that no amount of destruction was going to fill that empty spot inside. You remember Azrael, don't you? Oh yeah, I'm bringing him up. That guy would have done anything for you. He loved you. But you couldn't let go of your anger, your frustration, your need for control. And in the end, you hurt him a lot. And deep down, I know that bothers you. It's okay to admit it. You see, we all hurt the people we care about sometimes, but the difference is what we choose to do after that. Are you going to keep hurting the people who love you? Or are you going to take a step back, own up to your mistakes, and do better? You've been stuck in this cycle, Chara, a vicious loop of hurting and resetting, hurting and resetting. You think if you hit reset enough times, maybe one day it'll magically fix everything. But it won't. The reset button is a trap. All it does is stop you from moving forward. And what I'm here to tell you is that it's time to break the cycle. The only way to fix the mess is to stop running away from it. You've got to face it head on, no matter how scary that might seem. And let's be real, you've done some really scary stuff. Taking out entire worlds. Yeah, that's a lot. But you know what's scarier? The idea that you might never realize that none of that is who you really are. You're not some heartless monster. You're just lost. You're hurting, and you're trying to find your way in a world that feels like it's out of control. But here's the thing, you don't have to control everything to find peace. You just need to learn how to let go. Look, I know this isn't easy. Change never is, but it's possible. And it's worth it. All that destruction you've been causing, it's not going to fill that emptiness inside you. But if you start choosing love, start choosing kindness, start choosing to heal instead of hurt, you'll find that emptiness begins to fade. You'll start to feel whole again. And that's what you've been searching for all along, isn't it?